You've known them to run their mouths about politics. Politics, schmalitics. Well, little did you know, they can run their mouths about other stuff as well. This is the Mark G Show. They have a natural curiosity about just about everything, from aliens, the paranormal, to the biggest natural disasters that have ever occurred on planet Earth, and everything in between. Two brothers from another mother ripping it up. And, oh no, we don't record the show. We have the balls to do it live. Call into the show at 207-370-5852. That's 207-370-5852. Be a part of the show. Let's do it. This is the Mark G Show. And now your hosts, Mark G and Gary G.
Everybody, wow, Zach coming in clutch down there. What's happening? TikTok?
You've known them to run their mouths about politics.
What is going on, everybody? Let's go ahead and get the introductions out of the way, and then we'll go ahead and do my lovely disclaimer. Hey, Nikki, what's happening? All right, y'all, we got my brother from another mother, Gary, down below. Gary, what's happening, my man?
Ready to roll this one out.
Roll it out, huh? You don't want to rub it out?
I mean, we could rub it out too, I guess. I just think that might get us banned on TikTok. I don't know.
That's true. It probably would. All right, y'all. We got the man down here below. We got the man who gets all the sugar grannies on TikTok and's got some enemies when he shares out his live stream too much. Zach, what's going on, my man? How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm ready to rub it out.
Yeah, fantastic. Rub it fast and slow, or how are you going to do it?
Oh man, why do you want to know this, Mark?
I'm trying to help you out here in the land, man. We're trying to find you a woman. I know you like him around the 80-year-old range, so we're trying to help you out.
No, it's all good, man. I'll just have to call the retirement home soon.
I got you. Yeah, I know. How was your last day at the retirement home, by the way?
Oh man, it was rough.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard she was quite the dead one, huh?
She was stiff and cold, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
It's off to a very interesting start.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mark G Show. Anything that you hear on the show tonight are the views and opinions of myself, my brother Zach, or any guest that calls into the show. And do anything as you please. If we talk about anything that you question, feel free to do your own research and come up with your own conclusion. Otherwise, this is for entertainment purposes only and is for fun. So hopefully everybody understands that. But yeah, that is it. Anyways, gentlemen, we got a pretty good show. So I figured we're going to have some fun and we'll see how it rolls out this week. But I figured we would play around with some stuff on Reddit. Zach, are you familiar with what Reddit is?
Yeah, there's a lot of TikTokers on Reddit.
Yeah, there is quite a bit of hatred for TikTokers on Reddit, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Alien Bob, we see you down there as well.
I'm sure I'm on there somewhere.
Well, I'll have to search for your name on Reddit and see if we can find you.
No, we should.
That'd be great. That one guy that we had on the podcast, he's on there.
Oh, of course he is.
Yeah.
He was an asshole, so he deserves to be on there.
We're not mentioning his name, but just go back and look at some previous podcasts. But no, listen, folks, as we were talking about, I went ahead and I looked up some confessions. I found some interesting confessions. Some people may relate to these confessions and say, I don't even know why they're confessing because I would probably do the same thing. But I'm going to start off with a mother's instinct, and I'm curious to see how Zach and Gary think about this and what our chat will as well. So the introduction to this is first, we're going to hear about a concerned parent who crossed boundaries out of love and fear for her child's health. Now, I think almost any parents would go above and beyond for any of their children's their health, right? I mean, Gary, if your child was sick, you would do anything possible needs to get your child seen. And
I mean, assuming I had children, yeah, I would do that.
Zach, what about you?
Yes, 100%.
All right, so here's her confession. I want to start by saying I do not have any Munchausen syndrome. I love my kids and I don't want them to be sick. Anyways, my daughter started having episodes of breath holding, abnormal eye movements, and lethargic type symptoms after these episodes. The first time it happened, I took her and truthfully told them what happened. I was told it's probably breath holding spells. It's pretty scary for new moms. and we were sitting home. The diagnosis didn't sit right with me. Over the course of a month, and episodes were more and more frequent, happening every day, multiple times a day. She had an episode where it lasted 2 minutes. So I took her to the ER, exaggerated the symptoms, and they did an additional test, 24-hour EEG and an MRI. The test confirmed that she, in fact, had epilepsy and not breath holding spells. So, I mean, if you really look into that, kudos to the mom. I don't really think she had to confess to that because she just showed that there is a flaw within our medical system. So, if I want to go at that confession, I listen to what she said. That just shows that the complete flaw that is in the medical system that we have.
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you look at it now, what are people waiting like 2 to 3 hours in an ER system?
Sometimes longer.
Yeah.
And then typically when you're getting in there, that they just slap you out as quick as they can because unfortunately they are.
Dude, the thing is, you're usually waiting like 2 to 3 hours just in the waiting room to get a room. Then you're going to be back in that room for probably another 2 hours. Then you have to wait to get discharged. That could take up to an hour. So you'd be in the hospital for like 5 to 6 hours.
Absolutely crazy. So yeah, I don't think the mom's in the fault at all. And honestly, I don't even know why she's confessing. Right? Everybody's cheering on the mom over there in the chat. Everybody's definitely cheering her on over there. So that is awesome. So you guys did not get any confessions, did you?
Nope.
Yo, thank you, Daryl Blake, for the link over there. I appreciate you.
I didn't get any confessions. I just got would you rather.
All right, so I'm getting.
Oh, here we go. Starting
Gee, I
out
wonder
right.
who that could be.
I wonder. I'm getting the audio as my scratch.
Fuck you, Zach.
Sully, you're on the air, my man. I got to try fixing my audio, anyways.
Why the fuck
What?
did you guys, Zach? Why are people saying
1, 2.
Oh,
We didn't make an AI, did you?
We lost him. I can't hear him anymore.
I can't hear him either.
Hold on, let me try this. All right, Sully, try again.
Can't hear him.
All right, we may not be able to take phone. All right, Sully, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah.
So, what did you guys want?
Oh, we didn't want nothing. We were just calling to say hi.
Then why did everybody come to my side and ask me where I'm at?
Oh, they just wanted to make sure you were okay. We wanted to make sure you were alive and well. You know, we understand that you go out to these nightclubs and you you get highly intoxicated. We just want to check up on you, make sure you're okay, make sure you're not found in a river.
Oh, you do that, you're not gonna be okay.
Oh, is that you're gonna come to Maine?
I'm already there.
Fantastic. I can show you the ocean. I think you'll love it.
I can't swim.
That's
A lot of short piers in Maine.
Well, that's the point. They're taking you to the you can't swim.
Oh, Zach.
Yes.
Your
Sully, you shouldn't talk about your mom that way. That's not very polite. I want you to go buy her flowers.
Give me next week.
What's that, Zach?
I'm gonna adopt you.
Sully, you're gonna adopt him? What did you say about his mom again, though? Oh, Sully, I was told to ask, are you gonna take a Greyhound to get to Maine?
Fuck.
Understood. Hey, Sully, we appreciate you calling in, my man. Hope you have a phenomenal day.
No.
Bye. All right, so I was told my audio is kind of scratchy on my side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to swap over my audio channel real quick.
Oh, fuck. And this is when the podcast goes.
No. I think it's just I got a message saying that it sounds scratchy over on TikTok. So I just want to see if I can fix that.
Well, let me be the judge. Hold on.
Let you be the judge.
Hold on. Sounds fine to me.
It sounds fine to you. What's going on, Papa?
Whoever's listening on, was it your wife that said it?
No. I was told. All right, so now people are saying it sounds fine.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I appreciate y'all. Let's go ahead and continue on with some more of these confessions. You know, every time I say confessions, I think of that song by Usher, not Ushers. Usher, These are my confessions. No? You guys don't know that song?
Mark, we don't dance around that kind of music in our underwear like you do.
Sorry, dude.
No, I don't even dance in my underwear, Zach. I go pro bono on that shit. Come on now.
Oh, wow. There's just some things you keep to yourself, Mark.
Yeah, I know. Huh? It's horrible. I hope I gave you that good envisions when you go to sleep tonight, Zach, and your eyes are shut. You're dreaming about me. I'll love it so much. You'll feel so good.
This podcast is fucking weird.
All right, let's move on to unconventional living. Next, we step into the shoes of someone who found an unconventional solution to the high cost of living. Actually, I can see a lot of people doing this in this day and age. This is coming from a guy who worked as a janitor in a school. There was a dedicated janitor's closet, which was quite spacious. And after he had finished vacuuming all the classes in the afternoon, he had to turn the security cameras on and leave within a minute. There was a caveat, though. The front gate and the dedicated janitor closet were exempted from the motion cameras. He couldn't justify or afford spending half of his paycheck a week for what should have been a human rights shelter. So what he did was he lived in the closet and saved himself over $20,000 in rent. He installed a mini fridge and an air fryer and had quite the time. The contract got changed, so he lost that gig. He says he feels kind of bad for freeloading off to school. But the way he says but the government can provide insulated sheds to all of its citizens for a few billions, but would rather spend much more on war and overinflated salaries for its oligarchs. So listen, I respect him. At the same time, though, it's a school, so I kind of like, I get where he's going with that, but I'm not sure if I like the fact that someone was sleeping in my kid's school.
Well, I mean, he was pulling a Joe Dirt, bro. You had to.
Joe Dirt?
Joe Dirt lived in the fucking janitor closet at his fucking school he worked in.
Did he really?
If you
Or maybe
would
it was
watch
the-
a movie more than once that was more than 5 years old, maybe you would
It
know
was
that.
it was either the school or it was the radio station he worked at. I think it may have been the radio.
I think it was the radio station.
So it wasn't a school. See, a radio station, I can justify a radio station. It's the school that I'm having a hard time justifying. I'm not sure if I could justify having someone live in my kid's janitor's closet in school.
It's the janitor, though.
And the janitors are creepy, man. Have you ever seen school janitors?
Yeah, I went to school. Mark.
Yeah, they're creepy. School janitors are creepy as fuck. I don't know. You don't think so, Gary? You don't think school janitors are creepy? I mean, the lunch lady's even more creepier. I think the lunch ladies are really scary.
Now, if it was the janitor and the lunch lady, that might be awkward. But
I kind of approve that then.
yeah, you would. You would.
I approve that.
Nah, it is a little interesting, but kudos to him.
Boy, to stereotype, Mark. Listen, Nucleus,
Yeah,
I
right?
gotta do it. I gotta do it once in a while, my man. I gotta do it once in a while. All right, let's ask this. Gary, have you ever found money on the street in a
Hell yeah.
wallet?
Yep.
Have you ever kept it?
Sure did.
What's the most amount of money that you found and kept?
Not a lot, probably like 30 or 40 bucks.
30, 40 bucks. Zach, what about you, man? Have you ever found money on the streets?
Sure did.
Ever kept it?
Sure did.
How much?
I think 70.
All
It
right.
was outside of a bar when I went to go eat brunch. I found it. It
All right,
wasn't a wallet or anything. It was just laying there. But I was like, fuck this. There's my brunch money right there.
All right. Well, this next confession, this person did find some money. They were doing laundry and they lived in an apartment complex. And as they're walking back from the apartment, he saw a wad of money on the floor. He stopped quickly and picked it up and stuck it in his laundry and kept walking. Like 30 seconds later, one of his neighbors came running around the corner and asked him if he saw money anywhere. He kind of jerked to me a few times and said, "No, I thought it was like $40 to $60. When I got back to my apartment and actually looked at the money, $750.
Damn.
Now, you saw your neighbor coming running down, asking you if you saw any money down there. Knowing that it's that large amount of money, knowing that could be their rent, that could be their food, would you have felt bad in giving them the money?
Yeah.
I probably
Thank God.
would, yeah.
Thank God there's some fucking humans in these two creeps. I didn't think we were going to get any human out of them. That is awesome. You guys scared me for a minute. Now, if you found money in a wallet with an ID, before we move on here, would you turn that wallet with the cash to the PD?
Well, yeah.
They'd get the wallet.
They wouldn't
Well,
get the
see, that-
cash?
Probably not.
Damn. All right. Zach, what about you? Zach, you said you would give it all to the PD?
Well, I mean, if it was a full wallet with ID and everything in it, yeah, I wouldn't take anything out of it.
You wouldn't take anything. So you
If
let
it
the
was
cash
just
go.
loose money on the fucking street, then you don't know who the fuck that is. You can't just go turn that in. So yeah, I'm taking that shit.
Well, I agree with that, right? Yeah.
But not the wallet.
I get that. Loose money on the streets, but loose money in a laundromat than having a person approach you for the money. This person needs to come clean with that neighbor
Yeah, I agree.
and somehow come up with
I believe in
$760.
karma. So
That's nasty karma right there.
yeah.
Oh man, Gary, I can't believe you would
Taking
take
the money.
cash.
Fuck you, Mark.
I can't believe you take the damn money.
I'm taking the goddamn money.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
Well,
But I get it.
it's a
get
lesson,
it.
right? Like, there's nothing in life that's you got to learn. You got to pay to learn. It's like, I
Dude.
didn't take your credit cards. I didn't go and fucking buy a bunch of shit. Like, I got your $37 that was in there. Here's your wallet back.
Dude, and like
What?
see, I sometimes see those short like videos on TikTok. It'd be like a homeless guy, and a girl gives him money, and her expensive wedding ring falls into his cup, and then like he goes to look at the money in his cup and finds a really big diamond ring, and goes to take it to a pawn shop, and then he has like a guilty conscience, and then he goes to a flashback, and then he's like, no, I don't want the money no more, and he goes and tries to find the girl and gives her the ring, and then they do like a fucking GoFundMe and get him like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like that's gonna fucking happen to me one day.
See, I feel like those videos on TikTok that do that, though, I feel like those are rigged. I feel
Totally.
like that's quite a straight up.
That's why I'm
scam.
keeping the $37 and you're getting your wallet back.
All right, so you got that number $37. Let's say it was a teenager. He saved up all his money to buy the next PS5. He bought
buying-
that. He's going to buy that PS5, so he's got $600 in that wallet. He lost
if
it.
he's gonna be irresponsible with a wallet with $600 in it, sorry, not sorry.
And you open up, you see the ID, and you see that it's a kid.
I'm buying a
Kids
laptop.
don't have IDs for one.
Yeah, 16-year-olds do have IDs.
I've never heard of that. Is that
Yeah,
real?
it's a driver's license.
Yeah, 16-year-olds have no. They got driver's license and state IDs.
Oh, I never got a state. Yeah, he's got a driver's license.
Yeah, see, my kids got state IDs when they turned 16.
See, I got a
I didn't get my
permit.
license till I was 19. So
I got a permit when I was 15, and then when I was 16, I got my driver's license.
Gotcha.
Crazy.
So,
Okay.
so Gary, you see that ID? You see
Okay.
it's a kid on there.
all right.
You bringing that money with the wallet to the PD or to the? No, you're taking the cash.
Taking the cash.
Hey, you know what? You know what? I'm buying a new laptop.
And you're buying it. So you change your mind. You're not giving back the cash.
All
You
of a
you're
sudden,
not giving
Zach
back-
has a green screen. Funny how that works.
No, I'm just playing. I won't do that.
So Emma's asking, what the fuck is a state ID if it isn't a? So a state ID just verifies their age. So there is a state ID that you can get here in the state of Maine. That you
Yeah,
can
I didn't know
use
that.
for-
I thought you had to have ID at 18, but I forgot that kids get their
sorry.
driver's license at 16.
Yeah. So, Stephen, the question was, we were asking, we just read somebody's confession from Reddit where they found money on the floor, $750 worth. And somebody ran up to him and said, hey, did you see my money? And the person said no. When they got back to the room, they realized it was $750. And we're finding out what they would do. Zach and Gary said, well, once they found out how much it was, that they would return that money. So then I made a new scenario, said, hey, what if it was a wallet? Both these motherfuckers said that, well, Zach said he was buying a laptop, and Gary said,
No, I said if I found
No,
money in a
Zach's
wallet,
ethical. He said he'll return it.
I said I'd return it. I said if it was loose money on the street, I would take it. So fuck you, Mark, trying to make me sound like a dick.
Yeah. No, I said I'm taking the money. I'll get the wallet returned with all the credit cards and everything like
See?
that, but I'm taking the fucking money.
Steven just said my government name because you lied.
good. I'm glad he said your government name.
Marcus,
Marcus, thank God that was never my name.
I'm fucking naming you that now. You
Oh.
son of
All right, we're going to go on to the next confession called Childhood Schemes. This confession takes us back to the inventive lengths a child will go to avoid school. So I'm going to read their confession, and then I want to see the stuff that you guys have done to try getting out of school. All right, now let me preface this by saying I was clearly in no way a normal child. Most kids would simply go to their parents' room, say, "Mommy, I'm sick," and proceed to get a day off to school. I did no such thing. I nearly never got sick. I'm not sure if it was just my immune system or the lack of being exposed to shit, but I think I got sick 2 times from grades 1 through 9. By sick, I mean sick enough to puke. I was always jealous of the kids that were able to get out of school because they were sick, since I never got to miss school. So when I wanted to get out having to go, I would sneak into the kitchen at 3 in the morning, take some leftovers and shove them into a Tupperware container with some hot water. Dear God, this is the first time reading this. I would then take the leftover mush and dump it into the toilet at a reasonably puking sounding rate and fake gag. This would normally wake up my mom, as her room was right next to the bathroom. I'd then shove the Tupperware container in the cupboard under the sink and wait for her to come in. Mind you, I only did this 4-ish times over the course of several years, but it worked every time. That is a smart fucking kid.
Clever.
I mean, I've done something similar.
Did you?
My mom wouldn't ever come into the bathroom if I was faking to be sick, but I would make like the gaggy noises. I'd pour water into the toilet to make it sound like something was going in there, and I'd have a hot towel ready and I'd put it over my forehead. But
Ferris Bueller style.
I say my son, my second oldest son, he would chew up hot dogs. And that's how he'd make it look like vomit in the toilet. He literally chew up hot dogs and spit the hot dogs in the toilet to make it look like vomit. Dad caught on really freaking quick.
Yeah.
Let's see. Lisa says, "Oh my God." Steven going, "Wow." Kayla says, "My daughter faked sick a couple of weeks ago to avoid an open book test." Man. So Gary, have you ever faked being sick for school?
For sure.
Oh, yeah. What was your best fake?
I just think I would just be like, I'm not feeling good, and just complain and just not go. Dad never really put up a fight. He was just like, "You fucking idiot," and he'd go to work.
Gotcha. Now, when he left to go to work, did you stay home?
Man, that part I can't remember. I think, I mean, probably not. Knowing myself, like in high school, I was partying a lot, so I'd probably just go to a friend's house and just smoke a bunch of weed all day.
All right. Zach, what about you? Did you stay home after you called out sick?
Like what, from school?
Yeah, after you called out sick, did you, like, after you faked your sickness?
Oh
did
yeah,
you
I had
stay
to.
home all day?
I had to. But then I would magically like be better in the afternoon, and then I'd leave. My mom would be like, "Oh, you're feeling better?" I'm like, "Yeah."
So Steven over on
So
TikTok.
I would stay home until like maybe like 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I'd be like, "God, that rest made me feel so much better."
Yeah. All that extra sleep.
Right.
As you're gaming.
Right.
Just like,
Steven over on TikTok says, "I never faked being sick. If I wanted to stay home, my mom didn't force me, but I was a good kid." See, you're one of the few, Steven. You're one of the few. I will admit, I didn't really fake being sick too many times when I was in school. What I did, I just act like I went to school, got off the bus, ran through the woods behind school, and hung out with friends' houses afterwards. And then sometimes if I wanted to leave school early, I would forge my mom's signature with her saying that I need to get out in X amount of time. And when that time release was in, I left and went and hung out with friends. And of course,
I remember like we couldn't skip school because the school would take attendance, and if you didn't show up, it would call your house.
Yep. Right. Oh, funny story about that. So before my mom ended up having like a stay-at-home like job, oh God, yeah, I called out of school one day. Like I made a deep voice acting like my dad, and they still called. And I forgot about the answering machine. I wasn't that smart back then as a kid. And I'd be out in the woods playing and shit, like doing my own thing when I was like 13 or 12 or however old I was. And I come back like after the school bus passes my house, and my mom pulls in, and she's like, "Oh, how was school?" I was like, "Oh, it was great." And I go back outside. I come back in for dinner, and she's like, "Is there something you want to tell me?" I'm Like, what do you mean? She's like, come here. And she played the fucking message for me. I was like, I don't know what they're talking about. I was there the whole time.
Gotta delete those messages on the answer machine, Zach.
Oh, I didn't think about it. I was only like 12 or 13. I didn't know they fucking called my house.
See, I was happy that my mom was a blonde. My mom's a blonde, and this is not really a school factor, but my mother used to be that mother that would be what you call the helicopter mom. Like if I said, "Hey, I'm going out swimming," okay, you're gonna have to call in every hour on the hour to check in. Gotcha. Well, I knew her and my mother and my stepfather were going on some type of trip. I figured she's gonna be gone 5 or 6 hours. So before I went swimming to our little swimming hole, I stopped at the closest payphone, picked it up, and I made about 8 phone calls to this house and left a message. Mom, it's Mark. It's 10 a.m. Just checking in. Hang up, call up again. Mom, it's Mark. It's 11 a.m. Checking in. And I did this until I had enough. She would have fell for it. She did. My stepfather told me that she was like, wow, his watch must be broken. She thought my watch was broken when she was listening to it because I wasn't home yet. My stepfather looked at her and said, what is wrong with you? You know, he just sat there and called over and over again until he checked in enough so he didn't have to check in. Yeah. If it wasn't for him, I would have been fine. But my mother's blondness kicked in perfectly for that. It was great.
Wow.
Yeah. Gotta love having a little bit of blonde in the family. Maybe being stereotypist over there. But we're going to stay on the school subject for a minute. Zach. Actually, you know what, Zach? I picked on you first for a few times. Let's go with Gary.
No, you haven't picked on me first at all.
I have.
No, go with me.
Wait a stare. Sorry, Lisa. You know, Lisa, I kind of had a stereotype after what you've done to me lately. But we're going to go to, she's gifted very widely against me lately. So, Gary, we'll go with you. In school, was there a teacher that you really wished that you could have gotten with?
For sure. Senior year in high school, my English teacher.
Did you, at that time, maybe try to advance on that teacher?
No, definitely not.
Not at all?
But I did really fucking good in English that year.
Did you? So you focused really well.
Good. Yeah. I read all the books. My book reports were great. My tests were great. I did great.
And after that senior year, did you try hooking up with a teacher?
No.
No? Okay.
I never tried to hook up with a teacher.
All right. Zach, what about you?
No, all my teachers were old. Or older and married and stuff. We did have one really, really hot sub.
Fuck you, Nucleus. He's on, what's his name?
So,
she
Zach,
was a hot blonde, bro. And I don't even like white chicks, which is.
But the cool thing is, one of the cool things is when I was in 8th grade, we had a younger teacher. It was our science teacher, and her sister was a host for a TV show on Nickelodeon back in the day. Called it was like Figure It Out or something like that.
Nickelodeon, huh? Is it Nickelodeon or Disney that just had a documentary written about the children actors?
Nickelodeon.
It was Nickelodeon.
Was it Nickelodeon? Oh, dude, I feel bad for her then.
Wasn't it about the Josh dude or whatever?
It's about almost all the
little
kids.
Ditties getting diddled.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you look deep in there, you might even find Pete Diddle in that story. I don't know.
But no, I never tried to get with any of my teachers. They're all old.
Yeah, but Zach, so what you're saying is that because you changed quite a bit then now, from back in school to your TikTok days where you do chase the older ladies.
It's not true, Mark.
All right, let's move on. Let's go back to the school. The reason why I was asking you guys this question, this one comes from a 29-year-old male. So obviously he's a little bit older now, but he said, so when I was 15 years old, I was in algebra class. There was an attractive teacher that was my special education teacher. I wish I could take this back somehow, talk to myself then and tell him no. But I was curious and I thought she was hot and I just wanted to see how part of her body felt. When she was walking by, I intentionally stuck one of my elbows out and glanced her butt. She had no idea I did it in such a way that made it look like I was putting my head on my desk. She worked with me after that, and I had full conversation with me, and I had no idea what I had done. She probably thought it was just an accident. I don't know why the guilt is affecting me now. Maybe it's a sign I've grown. Maybe I'm a piece of shit. Maybe I don't deserve any forgiveness, but it's got to get out. Some accountability is needed. So he snuck a feel.
That's what it sounds like.
That's what it sounds like. He snuck a feel. Is he wrong? 15 years old, snuck a feel. Is he wrong?
I mean, yes, because
It-
of the
I mean-
modern climate of today.
I mean,
I think every 15-year-old teenager wants to do that to their hot teacher.
yeah. Unless it's like one of the teachers from the movie fucking 21 Jump Street that tries to get on Channing Tatum's nuts the whole time.
I don't think I ever saw
Yeah.
that.
You never saw 20?
that?
I don't think so.
Oh, it's horrible, Gary. You're going to have to watch it. It's a good
See,
movie.
unlike you, Mark,
How the-
I'm
okay,
not
how the
afraid to
fuck
watch
does
movies more
Mark-
than 5 years old.
How the fuck does Mark know about this movie and you don't?
Does
Yeah.
it have any thug related bullshit to it?
No.
No. I mean, 21
Any
Jump Street.
police related bullshit to it?
I mean, yeah,
Yes,
they're
it's a law
undercover.
enforcement show.
They go
And
into.
that's why. Because in the 90s, Mark thought he was a badass and he was watching everything cop and gang related. Fuck you, Mark.
Going there, Gary. Going there. Huh? Oh, shit. Gary, since we see the level that you're at right now, Gary, this next confession's about a rush of anger.
Who's angry?
Oh, you're always angry.
I'm always happy.
This next one, the introduction to this one is anger can sometimes lead us to an act in ways we later regret. This confession highlights a moment of impulsive retribution. Let me ask you guys, when you go to a parking lot and there's another car, you're there, both of you are kind of like this. You have your blinker on to take that spot, but the other vehicle proceeds to turn in and takes the spot that your blinker was on. Do you just shrug it off your shoulders and find a new parking spot, or do you take revenge on that car for taking that spot on you?
Define take revenge.
Well, you're talking about like slashing in their tires and shit?
Well, I want to see what you guys would do, and then I'll tell you what this guy did. Anything's revenge. How would you do it? So we got some people saying find a new spot, revenge in the chat.
So for me now, probably just find a new spot. I'll just be like, you son of a bitch, you got this one. And then I'll find a new spot. 22-year-old Gary, I don't know. I can't remember, and I'm going to plead the fifth.
They're going to plead the fifth?
But it would not have been just find a new spot.
No,
Yeah,
Zach.
I'd probably just find a new spot. I don't want to kick someone's ass over something stupid.
All right, well, this 29-year-old, here's his story.
Okay, so 29. This is starting to
29,
make sense.
yeah. When I finally go to work, the parking lot was full, and I made my way to what appeared to be an open spot somewhere in the middle of it. But when I got there, I found that a car parked in one of the spots next to it was needlessly overlapping the lane by about 2 feet. It clearly wasn't a case of the car next to them parking poorly and then pulling away, leaving them to look like the asshole. They clearly turned into the parking space from the wrong direction and did nothing to straighten their car to fit in that spot. So therefore, this person took up 2 spots. Anyways, he parked at the far corner of the parking lot around 100 yards further, even though 100 yards isn't far, and he could have written it off. At that point, he was blind with anger and honestly considering going home because of his head was killing him at that time. So what did he do? He took his car keys and scratched from fender to fender, or fender to bumper, I should say. So
See,
he
that
took
shit-
matters in his
I
own
mean-
hands, and he scratched the car.
That's crazy to me. Like, causing damage to somebody else's vehicle intentionally would drive me insane. I couldn't do that because I like my vehicle. Even when I've had like kind of older cars, in the parking lot, you could see somebody like open their door and it hits your car.
Yeah.
Even
that
like
pisses me off.
that pisses me off, and it's just like that's a little thing, and that's nothing, right? There'd barely be a dent, barely be a scratch. To see somebody like go ham and key a car, I couldn't do that.
So, Zach, just a heads up, man. Next time you probably want to mute your microphone because we all know you just took a piss.
I did that on purpose.
But, Zach, would you key a car in a road rage?
Fuck no.
Well, that's what this individual did. That's what he's confessing to. He keyed the car. And he also states within his story that he has no remorse over it. Zach, Gary, you never smoked cigarettes, really, so this one really won't pertain to you.
I used to.
Zach, you used to smoke cigarettes. Gary
Mm.
smoked the green stuff, but I don't think with the green stuff you save the stubbies. You don't throw them out the window. This person's
Thank you,
confession's
folks.
kind of long, so I'm just going to give you their confession in a short manner and see how you guys would react to this. So, what they did was they were driving down the street or whatever, and they threw their cigarette outside the window and accidentally started someone's front. Or they quoted, "I accidentally started someone's front yard on fire" when they flicked a cigarette out the car window. I wouldn't say that's accidentally. I would say that's on purpose, because if you're throwing a hot ash cigarette out the window, you know there's a chance that things are going up in a blaze. And it doesn't say where he was located neither, which really sucks. I would like to know, like, if it was California. But he did say that the grass was so dry.
I mean, that could be so many places.
It could be. I mean, so we'll talk about fires for a minute. I kind of feel his pain or her pain, because I don't mention whether they're male or female in this post. Um, you know, they did get busted by the fire department and the police.
They did.
I, for one, they did. They did get
Okay.
busted and they got fined. I, for one, was a dum dum. When I was a kid, thought I could make maple syrup
Oh, I've heard this story.
from the maple dripping from the tree. We were playing with a lighter, trying to melt this maple to make it into maple syrup. And instead, I burnt a large majority of my grandmother's backyard. Completely inflamed. Started one hell of a forest fire. Never allowed again at the neighbor's house. Till this day, they still give me dirty looks. And
Really?
my uncle left a nice little bump on the rear that lasted quite some time after he found me. But let me tell you, man,
Didn't you say you hid in like a chest?
I did, and then he found me. Yeah, there was like, so my grandmother had this chest. It was like on the main floor upstairs, and it was on the back room. And I hid in there, and I can remember hearing them yelling for me, looking for me. And I can just remember my heart fucking racing, because I knew once they found me, I was done for. I mean, I did have a book in there at first, but they found the book. I mean, because as kids, we were try smart, right? Because we got spanked as we were younger. And I did. I tried hiding that book in my rear, and it didn't work out so well. Caitlin says she set her mama's flower bed on fire as a kid on accident, playing with matches. Not smoking, but my daughter set my living room on fire trying to burn her homework. Oh, my God. Damn. That's a whole new level for not trying to turn in your homework. I'm sorry. I don't have my homework. It caught on fire. It was too hot. Dear God.
Right? Fuck saying the dog ate it.
Right? Yeah, screw the dog. Damn.
My mom's candles were too close to my books and it lit on fire.
Damn. All right, so this next one's a pretty interesting one. We're going to talk a little bit about cooking. I know Gary likes to cook. Zach, you like to cook too, right?
Yeah.
All right, so when you ever went to like family cookouts and stuff, do you ever serve them any microwavable canned goods and stuff like that, but play it off as if you cooked it?
No.
No, you've always cooked from scratch, made it good? All right, Gary, what about you?
No, I've never done that, but it sounds hilarious. That would be really fun to try to convince somebody that some microwave bullshit was home cooked.
All right.
Well, so this confession's a short but sweet confession. So the title pretty much says it all, but I'm going to go ahead and he was doing a competition, a local fair competition. There was some BMX event with a couple hundred people, and they always have a chili cook-off. He's not much for cooking, so he thought I would be funny to throw in a bunch of Wendy's chili into a crock pot and add a little Tabasco to it and see if anybody noticed it. He's been a vegetarian for roughly 12 years, so he never tasted it. But he pulled it off. Everybody thought he cooked it well, and he won the competition. With Wendy's chili and Tabasco sauce.
I mean, Wendy's does have good.
Yeah, but Wendy's chili is not that great. Do you know how they make that chili?
Yeah, it's fucking frozen, isn't it?
No. The sauce is frozen. But the
Wait,
burger,
isn't the meat like leftover burger patties or whatever?
it is. It's leftover burger patties. When I was younger, I used to work at Wendy's, and I remember the first time they showed me how to make the chili. I'm like, really? this burger's been out for like 5 hours and now you want me to chop it up so it can be put into the chili? Oh, man.
Still tastes good.
It does taste good, but damn, I don't know, man. It's just not for me. Not my forte anymore. Oh, man. Leftover meat, Kayla says, listen, we got plenty of leftover meat today, man. We got a shit ton of ham after today's dinner.
I have leftovers from yesterday, Mark. I told you what I was getting.
Yeah, you still got all that steak. That steak sub.
Oh no, it's gone. I finished it today, bro.
Did you really?
Fuck yeah, I did.
All right. Everybody loves being pulled over by cops.
Most favoriteest thing ever.
Isn't it? It's great, ain't it, when you get pulled over by a cop?
No, I haven't been pulled over in years, but I fucking hate it.
So, Gary.
Yes.
No, actually, yeah.
No, go with me first.
Go with me first. All right, Zach. Getting pulled over by a law enforcement officer for speeding. Have you ever used an excuse to try getting yourself out of a ticket?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Do you ask the officer to frisk you to help you get out of a ticket?
I'm not Sully, so no.
No, okay. I'm only asking because Emma was over there saying you scream, frisk me, please.
Oh no.
No. Okay. Gary,
Maybe if it's a female cop, but you know.
Okay, good. But not a male cop?
Yeah, not a male cop.
You're not feeling the vibe with a male cop?
Nah.
Gotcha. All right, Gary, what about you? You get pulled over by a law enforcement officer for speeding. Have you ever said anything to try getting out of the ticket?
For speeding, no.
But you have used an excuse to get out of something. By the way, you just worded that.
So it's funny. Almost every time I've been pulled over, I'm literally pulled over directly in front of my house.
That's great.
Yeah, like I got pulled over for speeding here, and the cop pulled me over as I pulled in front of my house.
Isn't it if once you're on your property, like in your driveway, they can't do shit?
I wish I knew that because I just pulled up in front of my house.
That's fucking great.
Almost made it.
Now, you got
Almost
pulled
made
over
it.
in front of your house. Did you use
Like
an
3
excuse or no?
times.
Did
No.
you use it? No?
No. I was like,
So
dude,
you're
I'm,
honest.
I'm literally like, this is my house. And then I'd give them the ID, and it worked 2 of the times where they let me go. But out here, they didn't give a shit. And the cop was an asshole and gave me a ticket.
Now, you see, it's funny. I've seen Kaylin's post down there. She says, sorry, officer, I have to shit. There's been numerous times that excuse has ran through my head if I was to ever get pulled over for speeding.
I mean, they're definitely not going to pull you out of the car.
No, I was looking at that like, wow, if I tell the officer, listen, I ain't got a gallbladder. I just ate. I got to get home.
Yeah, and then they'll be like, let me see your... Oh, wait. Yeah. If you didn't have a gallbladder, wouldn't you have a colostomy bag?
Fuck no.
No.
No, your gallbladder digests all like the fats and stuff like that you intake.
Oh,
That's all a gallbladder does. Yeah. No, there's no colostomy bag for no gallbladder, Zach. Trust me, you'll get your gallbladder out soon.
Fuck you, no, I won't. I'm gonna be healthy forever.
You're gonna be pissing out stones very soon, though.
Let's hope that's not the case.
Well, with all those fucking monsters you're drinking, it might.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've been drinking water.
All right, so back to this cop situation. This one's kind of long, but I kind of got to read it in order to figure out what he's talking about here. All right, so this Reddit writer wrote this. When I was 19, I was running late to work in my tiny piece of shit economy car, and on fumes of gas, I didn't come to a complete stop on a red turn. Lights behind me, so I pull over. I know I barely got any gas at all, and I was almost to the gas station, hence why I rolled through the stop a little, trying to have the car not die. At the time, around 1995, a new digital phone had come out called VoiceStream, now T-Mobile, and their whole new big thing was the phones were digital and not cellular. They were the first phones with caller ID and And one of the big things the salesman had said over and over said once, the digital and signal couldn't be triangulated or traced. Not that I cared, but I stuck in my mind. Well, as I give the cop my license, registration, and insurance card, I got an idea. I knew if I was late to work, I was going to lose my job. They were super strict there. So I get an idea, and right after I hand the papers to the cop and he's walking back to his cruiser, I call 911. and I tell the operator I just saw a guy with what looked like a shotgun walk into 7-Eleven and was about 2 blocks away. I confirmed the address and hung up. About 30 seconds later, the cops come, sprinted to my car, hands me all my stuff, and rush, says, come to a complete stop next time, then peels off to the direction of the store. Pushed my car to the gas station. I almost made it to it and felt pretty pleased with my ingenuity, with his cleverness. I was an idiot, and I confess. So, back then, 911, before they could trace you, he made a fake call to 911. That's a hell of a confession. That's dirty. Dirty and wrong. I don't think I would even steep that low to do that.
I don't know. Yeah, that's ballsy as fuck.
That is major. I mean,
If
listen,
that backfires, you are screwed.
right? What if they have some guy there who kind of fit that description but didn't have it and had guns drawn on him by the PD?
Mm-hmm.
That's bad.
Could have been.
All right. That could have been very bad. Gary, you like your neighbors.
I do like my neighbors.
Have you ever had neighbors that you didn't like at all?
Many, many a times.
Zach, by me asking that and your response, I'm guessing you have neighbors that you don't like?
I did. They moved out, thank God.
Gotcha. If you had any neighbors with a disability, we'll say like blind or deaf?
No.
But he was
Gary?
old.
He was old. Did you like him?
He was cool. His kids were crackheads, and I hated them.
Gotcha. All right. Well, this guy's confession. This is the last confession before we start moving on to the things. The would you rathers. He lied to his blind neighbor and told him that he moved away, so he didn't have to talk or bump into his neighbor anymore. That was a straight up confession. Said, listen, the neighbor's always chatty in conversation with him. He up and lied to his blind neighbor and told him that he was moving out. And then when he was finally done, he told him he officially moved. He's no longer living there. Wrong. That's dirty.
I mean,
That's
I would assume
dirty.
that if it's a blind neighbor, he could pick up on the bullshit because they have an acute sense of sound. And he probably knows exactly what his vehicle sounds like and his schedule and everything like that. So he probably knew. Call him bullshit.
Call him bullshit. All right. Zagary, you said you got a would you rather. Chat, this is where we're going to go to the would you rather. This is where I want everybody to be active in the chat. Okay. Well, I want y'all to answer your questions the best you can when I ask these questions out. We're going to ask Gary and Zach these questions as well. Gary, your would you rather, you say, is probably going to get me flagged on TikTok. So we're going to save yours for last.
We should do mine first.
I don't want to get flagged right off the bat,
It's
Gary.
not that bad.
It's not that bad?
It's kind of bad, but it's just a would you rather.
Should I have my hand on the censor button?
Maybe.
Oh, dear God. All right, Gary, let's see what you got.
Okay, so this isn't mine either, by the way. This was one that my buddy from LA, who's like literally the best would you rather creator that has ever existed. So he said, would you rather watch your parents bump uglies every night for the rest of your life, or join them once and never have to know about it ever again?
Oh my God. What?
Is death an option?
Oh my God.
That's what I'm saying. That's the caliper of would you rather that my buddy would come up with 100 times a night. And it's just like, we'd be out frisbee golfing and he'd just all night. Would you rather? And we're just like, oh God, here he goes with another one.
Zach,
So, yeah,
you go first.
That's the would you rather.
God damn. All right. I don't know how I'm gonna fucking.
Are you bumping with him or are you watching him bump?
I'm fucking not doing anything. All right.
No, Zach, Zach, you got to answer this. We got to answer these.
Fuck
No,
you.
we got to answer these. Yes, no, that's the thing. We're playing this game. We got to answer. Negative. I'm the host. I
no,
told you. Yeah,
That's the first one. The first one is always the hardest.
Come on, Zach.
you know?
Come on, Zach. Break
First
the
step,
break the
that
ice.
is-
Let's
that
go,
is
Zach.
easy.
Are you bumping with them or are you watching them bump?
I'm fucking watching them bump. I ain't fucking bumping with them. This isn't fucking Kentucky, motherfucker.
I'm gonna say I'm agreeing with Zach on that. I'm watching them bump. I ain't joining. Nope. What about you, Gary? What would you, for your own question?
Probably watch.
Probably.
Probably.
So there's a
watch.
slight chance that you might join in with the bump because you.
I mean,
probably.
I don't know. Depends on how many times I've watched and how much I'm drinking. I don't know.
All right. Douglas says watching every single night is a scheduling nightmare, y'all.
Right. Yeah. That's for sure, dude. It's a fucked up option.
Oh yeah, I'd say same. If deaf isn't an option, I'll be forced to watch. I'm not joining, dude. That's horrible. All right, Zach. Since I had you answer first, we'll let you go with the next question.
Would you rather never be able to close your eyes or never be able to close your mouth?
Oh, I'm gonna go with eyes. I'll keep my eyes open.
Like you can never close your mouth. Can it just be like a little just it has to be like
No, Gary, it's gotta be like you're doing like Zach did that pickle deep throat.
yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Hey.
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa.
Mark
Whoa.
just fucking unhinged his jaw right
Mark,
there.
Mark has been taking.
I took some lessons from your pickle videos, Zach.
Damn.
See, that's the thing though. Like, if you could never close your mouth, would you be able to talk?
True, right?
Touche.
I could use shutting up, so I'll go with the mouth. I could shut up. I could because I like
you're gonna leave
sleep
your
more
mouth?
than I like talking.
You can sleep with your eyes open. People do it all the time.
I can't.
Nah, dude. I can't even keep my eyes open more than fucking like probably a minute without them starting to burn. Fuck that.
Right?
So Zach, you're keeping your mouth open.
See, I don't want to keep my mouth open either because I'm petrified of spiders and I don't want them crawling in my mouth.
You'll devise like a little mesh that goes over your mouth to keep the bugs out.
Yeah, I guess I'd probably do my mouth because I like to close my eyes and sleep. So
Sleep.
Hopefully Gary can come up with one here soon, Chase. He'll be coming up here shortly after mine. All right, this one's an easy one.
no, what about you, Mark?
I'm about ready to ask it right now.
No, you got to answer mine.
I just did.
No,
I
you
said
didn't.
my eyes.
Oh, okay.
I told you my eyes. Were you not listening, Zach?
I figured you'd want your mouth open after what you
You
just did. That
You might want to clean that extra activity stuff out of your eardrums there, Zach. It might be a little clogged from all that. Oh, yeah. Look at that goo falling out of those ears. All right. All right, gentlemen. Would you rather get $100,000 every time you're spanking or $10,000 every cigarette you smoke?
That's an easy one, bro.
Wait, what? I'm getting paid to spank?
You
Yeah,
get
dude.
paid to spank.
I'm fucking
I'm
spanking.
retiring early.
Right. I'm spanking from when the sun rises till it sets, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'll have to put me in a
I
straitjacket.
call that.
Agreed.
Now, how did
Every
this man
time
become a
I'm doing-
billionaire in 7 hours? Well, let me tell you.
Well, I'll tell you too, because I actually got the results of these people, because these ones came off of Reddit. You guys and I am saying spanking as well. 4,000 people have voted for spanking. Only 3,200 people voted for the cigarette.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But dude, it's $100,000 compared to $10,000.
Right? Oh, well, actually, sorry, the money's off. Hold on. How many zeros are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's
Spanking.
7 zeros.
Doesn't matter. Whatever it
Spanking.
is, I'm getting paid
Spank.
to milk myself.
All right, gotcha. Gary, what's yours?
Would you rather break a finger every 3 months or an arm every year?
Fuck, man. An arm every year.
I think a arm is going to be better to break, so I'm going with arm. I'm going to go with arm because a finger is one of the hardest ones to heal. I don't even think they can. They can't really do much for a finger.
I mean, you wear a cast on your finger for like.
Yeah, but
6 weeks or
the
whatever.
finger's not really bone.
What do you mean the
It's
fingers?
it's
are
a
not
finger's
bone?
more fingers. As far as I know, the finger.
Yeah,
No,
but your fingers are bones, bro. They're joints, but they're bones.
I would go with the arm every year.
yeah, I'm going with arm. Don't you look up at me like that, you fuck. I see you staring up there looking like the Brady Bunch. Looking up at the square. Zach, what are you going with?
I said arm every year.
Arm every year. Oh, Kaylin's asking you to repeat that one, Gary.
Would you rather break a finger every 3 months, a random finger, different finger every 3 months, or an arm once a year?
So that was his question there. Zach and I both saying arm. Gary,
And it'd
what's your
probably
answer?
be arm. It'd probably be arm. But geez, man, it probably hurts so much more to break your arm.
The arm actually doesn't hurt that bad.
Like your arm? Or
Yeah,
like your arm. What if you break
So
your
when-
arm up here?
I see. I don't know about up there. I broke my arm here.
Yeah,
I
what
don't.
if
I'm sure
break
if you
the
remember.
top part of your arm right near your shoulder. So it's like you're really incapacitated. Like you're, like it's, you're.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
gonna suck. See,
That
'cause
sucks, right? That sucks.
See, I remember breaking this arm back when I tried a banana skateboard and tried jumping off stairs with it, and I landed on this part was hanging down, and this part was up.
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah, and I remember looking at it, and I walked into my mother because I was young, and I remember looking at her and saying, "Mom, I think I broke my arm." When she acknowledged that I broke my arm, that's when I cried like a little bitch. 100%. I was like, ah! Yeah, it was bad. Finger hurts worse. At least it did for me, Blake says. So Blake has broken a finger. I never broken a finger. Zach is waiting. Zach, did you answer, Zach? An arm?
Yeah, I said my arm.
All right, Zach. What is your would you rather?
Isn't it your turn?
No, it's
No, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn.
It is.
I'm just gonna make one up. Would you rather boink for only 10 minutes at a time, and wait, no, we're gonna change that. Would you rather boink for only 4 minutes at a time, and have an or get off?
Yep.
Yeah. Or would you rather boink 45 minutes to an hour at a time and never get off?
4 minutes.
4 minutes.
Because I'd be breaking records anyway at that point. 4 minutes? What am I, a marathon man all of a sudden? Fuck.
I'm going 4 minutes as well. Zach, what's your answer?
Yeah, 4 minutes for sure.
4 minutes. Nucleus says, "Call me Minute Rice."
Yeah, right.
Oh, damn. Everybody in the chat's going for 4 minutes on this one. All right, here's the next one for you. Yes, Pop, this is the podcast. All right, we're going to go with the next question. Would you rather have one of these for your ringtone? You can only pick one. Sexual moaning. A recording of you saying, "I'm an asshole," over and over again. Or the sound of repulsive diarrhea.
Repulsive diarrhea.
Really? You're going for diarrhea on your ringtone?
Yep, I don't want to hear myself moaning. I'm good.
Oh, it's yourself moaning? Or
It's
is it
yourself.
just-
So it's a ringtone
Oh.
for you. So like you're walking, someone calls you, that's your ringtone going on.
I'm going to go with I'm an asshole.
You're going to go with "I'm an asshole"?
Yeah. 'Cause maybe
kinda
that'll
know.
make people laugh.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with "I'm an asshole" too. Poor Zach's over here going with the fucking diarrhea.
Fuck yeah.
Zach's making the asshole do the work.
Yeah.
Wait, that's what his asshole always does anyways. So like Zach works at truck stops. So I kind of get it.
Hey, I'm no lot lizard.
The chat. All right,
All
let's
right,
see.
I
So
got a good one here.
you got a good one?
Would you rather have an adventure in space or have an adventure in time?
As far as time, explain. We going back in time, forward in time?
It's your adventure. Choose your own adventure.
Ooh.
You want to go into space and just travel in space on an adventure, or do you want to travel in time on?
I'm traveling in time because if something goes wrong and you're fucking lost in space, you're fucked.
You get lost in time too.
Yeah, but I'd rather be able to breathe.
Have you seen Back to the Future?
Yeah, but if you're an astronaut and your core gets ripped out and you're out there fucking floating around and you lose oxygen, then you're really fucked.
Assuming that the space travel would be safe and you can make it back.
Oh, okay. I'd still go back in time. I want to see some crazy shit.
You'd go back in time.
You go back?
Yeah, I'd go way back. I'd go
What
back
would
to
you do, Mark? Where's your adventure?
I'm going in the future. I am. I'm going in time, but I'm going into the future. Because I'd be curious to know what would happen in the future, and then come back.
I'd go talk to God.
I'd buy some damn lottery tickets. You talk to God. You go back way back then, huh?
Yep.
Damn.
See how Christmas Day was that day.
All right.
Time is very tempting, but I might want to say space if I can for sure travel to another civilization,
Okay.
because that might be interesting. Time would be great, but I think
See, and also if you're in space and you go to Mars and find other living life forms, you can go back to Earth and be like, "Oh, look, I found this," and be the discoverer of a new life form.
But I'm talking about, like, what if, right? You're in space and you can again, this is assuming a bunch of shit now, right? So it's like you can for sure say, take me to an advanced civilization. And it'll just you go to an advanced existing civilization.
I like how he says, because I've always envisioned, imagine if we had like tubes that made us travel. Imagine staying in a tube and just pressing a button and it shot you to where you need to go.
Yeah,
That'd be fucking fun.
that'd be sick. So yeah, I don't know. Time is very intriguing because I too would go into the future, not the past. But I think it would also be as interesting to go and find another simultaneously existing advanced civilization in space.
Zach in the chat is agreeing with you. They're all definitely saying that you do need Jesus in your life. I just want to let you know, like the chat is definitely agreeing with you, saying that you do need Jesus.
It's okay.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, Zach. What's your question, my man?
Would you rather have your life narrated by Morgan Freeman
Yes.
or your actions choreographed by a Broadway musical director?
Morgan Freeman.
I don't like musicals, so I'm going Morgan Freeman.
That'd be cool. Yeah, Morgan Freeman.
You got that one online, didn't you?
Yeah, sure did.
I know that because that was one of mine. I'm like, you motherfucker. That's all right. This one's a little more interesting. There's multiple people that you can choose from out of this one. Who would you rather spend 6 hours on a road trip with? Jake Paul, Donald Trump, your ex, Amber Heard, Kanye West, or Andrew Tate? I'll repeat them again. Who would you rather spend 6 hours on a road trip with? Jake Paul, Donald Trump, your ex, Amber Heard, Kanye West, or Andrew Tate?
I'd probably go Trump because I feel like he'd be funny as fuck.
Okay, so we're going Trump. Emma's over in chat saying Kanye. Gary's thinking about this one.
I'm torn.
You're torn.
Yeah, I was going to say Jake Paul, but he's such a fucking douchebag. I would not want to fucking... I'd just talk shit to him the whole time and be like, you don't fucking box.
No, for sure. So I'm stuck between Kanye and Tate.
You're stuck between Kanye and Tate.
Because Kanye would just be fucking hilarious to hear him go off on random ass rants.
Dude, I feel like he'd be such a fucking douchebag, though.
Dude, he's a total douchebag. But it'd be just funny to just watch him go unhinged. And then Tate would just be hilarious because he's such like a... he's like an egotistical fucking idiot too. So it'd be like him and Trump kind of are the same person, just they're different, you know. But they're both like egotistical maniacs. So it'd be kind of funny. But yeah, maybe Kanye. I'm gonna go Kanye as my final answer, just because him going unhinged would be entertaining.
Right. You know, Emma's over there saying she'd like Kanye pick out a road trip outfit.
Yeah,
Dude, he
right?
wears like fucking like full face fucking
Dude, that's
thing.
what I'm saying. The dude is fucking. He's off his meds.
Yeah, he's definitely there's a few screws loose up there. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's from all the
You
stuff
can't
he's
tell
done
me
when
that
he's on
wouldn't be
tour.
entertaining.
Oh, it'd be 100% entertaining.
Yeah.
All right, Mark, who would you choose?
He's going with Trump, obviously.
I'm definitely going with Trump. But let me tell you where other people thought about this. So only 545 people said that they'd go with Jake Paul.
Shocker.
1,300 people said Donald Trump. 1,100 people said Amber Heard. 1,200 said Kanye West. Only 712 people said Andrew Tate, which leaves your ex for 3,900 for the winning. People would much rather go on a road trip with their ex than the
'Cause they
following
wanna-
people on there.
They want to get laid.
Yeah, they're trying to
touche.
get,
Yeah,
they're trying to get the rocks off one last time.
that is true. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing.
Obviously, they're not getting paid to rub one out. So,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, missed that fucking bonus.
yeah, right. Okay, so would you rather have to sing everything that you say for the rest of your life, or whisper everything you say for the rest of your life?
I mean, I would do either or.
Yeah, but you have to pick one.
Oh, fucking A.
Are you singing or are you whispering?
I would just sing.
You're gonna
Sing?
sing?
All right. All right.
All right, Zach, for the rest of the night, we want you to sing everything you got to say.
Fuck you, Mark.
I'm going to go with whisper, man. I'm
Yeah?
going whisper. Yeah, I ain't singing.
You're just gonna whisper.
Yeah,
you're
but
gonna
then you
pull-
just
you're gonna
piss
pull
people off.
Biden's in everybody's ear.
Yeah,
That's
did you go? You're gonna be like that Dan Cook joke, dude. The Burger King joke when he goes up to the fucking pull-up thing to order. He's like, pickles, bun seeds, no bun seeds, ice, yes, no, chicken tenders, soy sauce all over my pussy.
Damn. All right. Damn.
Wow,
Zach got into that, y'all.
Yeah,
Zach.
that
Zach.
one.
Damn, Zach.
ASMR with
Dude, have you never heard that fucking joke?
Damn. ASMR with Zach, y'all. That was good.
I've
I
not
hope I get
heard
a
that joke,
You never heard the Burger King joke? Okay, you gotta
No.
listen to it.
but I
I
will
hope
listen to it.
we'll listen to it after the
I'm
show.
gonna say sing. I would do sing.
I am gonna get a clip of Zach doing that though, 100%. You're gonna say sing?
I swear.
I'm getting a clip
Swear
of that
to
shit.
God.
So that's at 1 hour and 8 minutes in. Just if
Right,
you want
hold
to
on.
time mark
Yeah,
that one.
I'm gonna scroll up to my would you rather, and I'm gonna put up there 1 minute. Would you say 1 minute 8 minutes on that?
1 hour 8 minutes.
1 hour 8 minutes. All right, got it. Zach, we got you. Don't worry, Zach. There's gonna be a good clip of that one for
Dude, you are such.
There is such a clip coming out of that
Oh
one.
man.
That was
Dude,
great.
no, man, no.
Oh
Seriously.
yeah. I'm gonna make sure I add some good music to that one too. That's gonna be great. Zach did add some pizzazz to that, Lisa.
I
He did.
fucking can't stand you, Mark.
Hi, Zach. You're up for you. Would you rather?
I don't want to play anymore. Okay, would you rather have $10,000 in gold or $10,000 in Bitcoin?
Ooh,
Bitcoin.
really?
Yeah.
You think Bitcoin's prices increase faster than gold?
Yeah.
Oh, where's Bitcoin at now? What's gold
Like
at?
69,000 or some shit.
Yeah, I guess I'm going Bitcoin as well because I have been watching Bitcoin jump up. So I'm going Bitcoin as well.
Yeah, I'd probably go Bitcoin just because the price of gold goes down so fucking much. So even if you wanted to like turn it in for money, they would lowball you. And Bitcoin,
But see, now I'm torn because you say that, but let's say gold and silver can surpass technology, right? So if technology fades, technology goes away, your Bitcoin goes away. So what are you left with? You're left with
Well,
your gold and silver. So I'm going gold. Actually, I'm changing my.
well,
I'm
I
going
mean,
gold.
people pay more money for silver than they do fucking gold.
Right, but I'm gonna go with gold because we'll say Bitcoin. If technology ever fails or an EMP ever happens, your Bitcoin's worthless. You don't have your Bitcoin to fall back on, but you'll have your gold to back on. So I'm going with gold. I'm gonna plan ahead just in case of a crash.
All right.
I'm still gonna go Bitcoin.
All right, Nucleus 8 days left. Right, Nucleus 8 days left. Dude, that video's blowing up so bad. But it's because everybody's talking about it. Everybody seriously thinks that there's something that's going to happen on the 8th. It's crazy.
Oh, is that the day the fucking shit's
eclipse.
supposed to? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the solar eclipse. Like, dude, I made a video. So I made like 4 random videos of what if scenarios for the solar eclipse. And the one about talking about the rapture is already almost at 1 million freaking views. And it's crazy, dude.
And you're not making any money on that, or you are?
Oh, I am.
Okay,
I'm about 2 bills on it right now.
Bam.
Yeah. All right, so let's go with my next question. Gentlemen, this one's kind of a little off of the would you rather, but sits in the same scenario. Which cheat code would you rather have in life? Extra life. Once you pass away naturally or prematurely, you restart your life from day one while keeping all the memories from your previous life.
That one.
Or number 2, pause and resume. Time is stopped. No one, including you, can move. You can only think or resume.
First.
Or number 3,
No.
status reading. Display name, age, height, gender, sexual orientation, personality type, nationality, ethnicity, all that good stuff, hobbies, criminal records. You can it just pops
First
up in your
one.
head every time you look
First
at
one.
somebody. You're going first
Undeniably
one?
the first one.
All right, damn. You are strong on that one.
100%.
Yeah,
How
I'd
about
probably
you,
do the first one.
You do the first one too? And
Yeah.
still have all your memories? See, I don't know if I'd like that. I
Pussy.
think, listen, I think I'd much rather have status readings. I think it'd be kind of fun. Be like, oh, look at that fucker. Look at that.
No, but see, it'd be cool though because if you're starting from day one as an infant and you get older and
Dude,
you
you're
could freak,
genius.
yeah, you could freak
You're
people
one, and you're
out.
like, listen to me.
Yeah,
Like,
you could freak people out, having the knowledge that you knew growing up until
Yeah.
you died, and people would be like, "What the fuck?"
yeah. No, easy. That's an easy one.
Easy one.
Easy.
So you guys going with the extra life?
100%.
Yeah.
Not even a question.
All right. Gotcha. All right. So let's go with Gary. We'll do one more for the table, then we'll wrap it up.
Okay. Would you rather your only mode of transportation be a donkey or a giraffe?
Repeat
Oh,
that.
dude, I'd do a fucking giraffe, bro.
It's the only way you can ever get around forever.
A giraffe, 100%.
Okay.
A giraffe? I'm going to
Yeah.
go donkey.
Dude, giraffes run faster than donkeys.
A giraffe would hurt like fucking hell on your asshole. I'm going with a fucking donkey.
And then if someone pisses you off, they fucking use their necks.
Dude, their necks are pretty gnarly.
Yeah,
Their necks
dude.
are pretty gnarly.
Dude, that's how giraffes fight, dude. They fucking hit each other with their heads and necks. and shit,
It's
bro.
pretty rowdy, dude. I'm gonna have to go with a giraffe too. I think donkeys are cool, but I think a giraffe.
You're going with a giraffe as well?
They're pretty fast, yeah.
I mean, I am seeing the love that you and Zach have with the giraffes. All right. So both of you going with giraffes?
Yep.
Mhm.
Gotcha. They know I'm trying to fucking spark more conversation with the chat. Look at them. They're like, They both get
Yes, we know what you're doing, Mark.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. You saw what I was going there?
Yeah.
All right, Zach, would you rather, you ass? Right, I'm not climbing any giraffes with my knees.
Pussy.
Would you rather win $1 million in the lottery or never have to buy anything for yourself ever again?
Say that again.
Would you rather win $1 million in the lottery or never have to buy anything for yourself ever again?
All right, I know what I'm going to do.
I'm gonna take the million and invest.
Yeah,
that
I'd
shit.
rather take the million because if you can never buy anything for yourself ever again, does that mean you're just gonna have the same shit constantly your whole life?
Yeah, I'm
No,
gonna
no.
take the money and invest.
See, I took it as you could only buy it for yourself and nobody else. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to take the million so that way there I can still provide for my family. That's what I thought I took the question as. All right. Well, so let's see here.
I'm taking that million and putting it into Bitcoin.
Putting in Bitcoin, huh?
I'm buying Doge, baby.
All right. Let's end this with which horrible curse would you rather burden? Touch grass every 24 hours or you die.
Oof.
Do at least 5 push-ups every 12 minutes or you die. Take a shower every 24 hours or you die. Make social interaction with the opposite sex once a week or you die. You can't consume over 3,000 calories of food a day or you die. If you spend over 7 hours on the internet a day, you die.
I feel like the easiest one to do would probably be take a shower every 24 hours. Because you're going to take a shower every 24 hours either way.
What if you're camping?
Yeah, what F are you camping? How you gonna take a shower? Are you
Then
camping?
don't ever fucking go camping. Or go wash yourself off in the nearest creek.
That's not a shower.
But that's not a shower, yeah.
As if it's under a waterfall, assholes.
But you said a
Yeah, you said a creek. There's no waterfall at a creek.
Okay, well, if you're camping by a goddamn geyser or
That's
a river,
a geyser. That's not a shower.
a river, wherever the fuck there's a waterfall.
A river's not a
Mark.
shower.
Wherever there's a fucking waterfall, Mark. That's where you're gonna go camping.
if I could intentionally limit my internet use, that would be awesome.
Or you can do glamping, or is it glamping?
Glamping, yeah.
Yeah.
Glamping.
See, you'd have a shower. You'd be good.
So no more than 7 hours of internet a day?
Yeah, so it's if you spend over 7 hours on the internet, you die
I'd die.
a day.
Yeah, I'd like to probably do that one.
Yeah, Zach, with the amount of TikTok that you're doing, you would.
You and me both. Don't put this just on me, you fucking dick.
I don't know what you're talking about. I plead the fifth.
Oh, see, they make portable camping showers, Lisa says. See, I would never die.
All right. Well, hold on. Chad, that wasn't that hard for him.
Unless your car
I
gets
got a dark one that's kind of difficult.
All right, you do yours, I'll do mine, and then we'll Zach. All right, one more round, then we're done.
All right.
One more round, we're done.
So would you rather die from a disease or violence?
Ooh, disease or violence? I'm going violence. Why? Because God, if they're gonna do it violent, let them take me out quickly. Disease is gonna take me out slowly. Violence is gonna take me out quickly. So I'm going violence.
But what if you suffer either way? What if they both require suffering?
I'm still going violence.
Nah, fuck that. If we're both suffering, I'd go disease.
You're going disease?
Man.
Yeah, because, dude, a disease, you could live for years with it. Fucking the other one, dude, someone stabs you in the throat, you're fucking just gonna bleed out and die.
That's... But they both suck, right?
Yeah, they both suck, but I would rather just do the fuck. I mean, fuck, man. Fuck you, Gary.
Right? Like, Jesus. That's a tough one. I think it's a really tough one.
I'm gonna go disease.
It's like it could be like diseases could linger and be really uncomfortable in your bed.
The worst part about diseases is the only thing that would suck is you'd have to like go to the hospitals to get treatments every fucking here and there.
Yeah.
But like I said,
your quality of life just slowly diminishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna feel.
You go from like
fade
being
away.
able to walk to like 15 years of just really shitty degradation until you can't, right? And then violence is like
one stab and you're fucking.
But what if it's not one stab? What if it's like you're hit by a car and you fall off a building and you're fucking like twitching for 12 hours and it's just like the most excruciating.
But it's 12 hours and not a couple.
Well,
of
you know,
years.
I'd rather pick disease than have it for years than violence and
Yeah,
fucking.
but like those last 2 years really suck.
Yeah, but I'd rather it be 2 years than fucking 2 seconds.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this one.
Gotta have an answer.
I know,
Gotta have
right?
one.
Because like it's not death that people are afraid of, it's dying.
It's the suffering, bro.
It's the fucking suffering.
I mean, and also disease. If you're suffering too much, you can just fucking end it yourself. I mean,
You can just go to Canada and
but
hop
no,
on
that
one of those little
that'd be considered
pods, right?
violence, though, would it? Wouldn't that be considered violence?
Because I don't like pain.
Hey,
And being sick sucks.
Time's up, Gary. What's your answer?
Violence or disease, violence or disease, violence or disease. I'll go with violence only because my family doesn't have to suffer with taking care of my decrepit ass
Yeah, all right.
for an extended period of time, at least.
All right. And Zach, you're sticking with disease?
So you
All
want
right.
to torture your family, you heartless son of a bitch.
Yeah, you fucking evil.
they're
son
gonna
of-
fucking be the family's gonna be fucked either way, bro.
Yeah, right.
All right, Zach, what is your last? Would you rather? Then I will hit one and then we're out of here.
Would you rather have rapidly dissolving toilet paper to wipe your ass with, and it only lasts you like 2 seconds? Not even 2 seconds, like a second, and it's already dissolved once it hits your ass. Or would you never have toilet paper ever again?
I'll never have toilet paper again, so I'll just buy a bidet.
That's not an option, Mark.
You never said that. You never said that.
See,
so I bought
this
a bidet.
is Mark making up his own rules to shit
Yeah.
again.
How no? How is that making up my
this
rules?
is
Listen,
Mark.
he never said never have toilet
Mark.
paper again. He never
These are
said I can't have a
options.
bidet.
The options are
Mark,
as
it's either you're
follows.
never wiping your ass again or you're using rapidly dissolving toilet paper.
Well, if I got rapidly dissolving toilet paper, it's as if I didn't have toilet paper. So therefore, why the point of having toilet paper if it's just going to rapidly dissolve anyways? You're not even going to have a chance to wipe your ass.
Well, Mark, that's not the question.
But
I'm
that
going
is the
with
question.
rapidly dissolving.
Yeah, it's
How?
like how
if it's
rapid.
already going in 2 seconds,
Hey,
How much
Mark,
time do you hold the toilet paper on your ass?
Erica says use a cloth, right? See,
Yeah, right.
guys,
you guys are cheating. Fuck y'all. Okay, you know what? I'm picking another one.
pick another one. Yeah, because that
Pick
one we
another
can
one,
get.
'cause
That one
that
has a
one's
workaround.
stupid anyway, Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
Oh, I just made
has
that
a
up.
workaround.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I mean, I could use a bidet and
Use
wash
the
my ass
internet.
because you never
Use
gave.
Okay,
ChatGPT.
would you rather have to announce to everyone around you whenever you have to fart or pee your pants daily in secret?
Fart.
Fart.
I would
100%.
I would fucking fart on everyone, bro. I'd go into elevators to do it on purpose.
I'd walk in and say, sorry, this is going to stink. Oh, this one's going to be brutal. I had cabbage.
Oh man.
Oh, man, I just went to Taco Bell. I'm sorry for this one. Hell yeah. I'd have fun with that one. I'd definitely announce I'm farting everywhere. The chat hasn't answered you, though. The chat's quiet on this one.
Because it's another stupid one.
You know what?
All right, Zach and Gary, here's the last one. This one's would you rather receive $1,000 a day
Yep.
and shit your pants in public
Yep.
or receive $1,000 a day and live by yourself in complete isolation?
Second one.
You live in
pooping my
complete
pants,
isolation?
man.
Yeah, I'm shitting myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not living in complete isolation, dude. I go absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, define.
Wow.
Are you allowed to like?
Isolation, so like there's nothing, no internet, no phones, no TV. It's just you in a four wall room.
Oh yeah, I'm shitting my pants.
I'm pooping myself. No problem.
Yeah.
I am shitting. I am having someone wipe my ass as I shit my pants even more.
You are
With that
pop
dissolving
wearing
toilet
Depends.
paper.
Yeah, with that definitely that dissolving toilet paper.
Yep.
Nugula says basically live that second one already. Oh man, nah. See, I could never be isolated. Nope. That's like that guy that you guys saw Mr. Beast did, right?
What did he do?
He paid a guy. I think it's like $10,000 for every day
Yeah.
the guy stayed in a grocery store by himself.
Oh yeah, and he had to like get rid of like what was it, like $10,000 worth of merchandise a day or something like that.
Yeah, every day they'd come back in. He had to sell them
Uh,
$10,000 worth of merchandise. The guy made
But I mean,
bank
he
on-
sold a lot of shit that he didn't need. Like he did electronics, he did dog food, he did baby shit. Like
Yeah, he did
the
a slot.
produce, because the produce would go bad. Like he was smart about like what he got rid of.
He was. See, I could do something like that for an extra period of time, but not isolation for the rest of my life. Hell no.
Well, did you see the other one he did? He built like a random house in the middle of nowhere and put a big red circle around it. And the guy if he lasted there, I think it was like 185 days or something like that without leaving the circle, then he would win, I think, $1 million.
Easy.
Easy.
Fucking
Yeah.
right, I'd do it.
But like they would do the same shit, and like they would go out and like outside the house and like blow like air horns all night, or fucking they would take shit out of the house. One time they fucking separated the house into like two, so there's a big gaping hole in his kitchen.
I'd still do
I
it.
mean, that's
Fuck
just
yeah.
annoying, but
Right?
For $1 million?
if I'm going for $1 million, dude, I'd do it 100%.
yeah, you just got to like suffer for 4 months or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, just know that when you walk out of there, you're not gonna have to worry about money again for a while.
Oh, some
Fucking right.
people.
Yeah, right.
Zach would be
Putting
bringing
it
that
on
shit to the
Bitcoin.
casino. No, Zach would be bringing it to the casino saying, "Put this on black."
I don't play black or red, man.
You don't do black or red on the roulette?
No. I mean, I will. You know, I don't trust how the board looks, but the only time I'll ever pick black or red if it's on a red streak or a black streak.
Interesting.
Yeah.
All right. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap it up here. I know Gary's going to go shower because I can still smell his stinky ass all the
What are
way
you
over
talking
here.
about, dude? I didn't go to the gym today. Shut up.
Oh, I get to play the Dane Cook joke now. Yay.
You forget to play. Oh, dear God. Hold on, Zach. Hold on. We got to get off all the social media first. If I can find the outro. All right, there it is.
Penis.
All right. Oh, wow, Gary. You prematurely just jumped right into that. All right,
yeah,
Chad,
well,
we're
that's what I'm
out of
saying.
here.
4 minutes is a marathon.
You've been listening to the Mark G Show. You may know them from their political commentary, but there's a lot more to the fellas than politics. And that's why we create